Most people think confidence is loud, that it's charisma, dominance, or the ability to take up space in a room. But that's not confidence. That's theater. Truly confident people don't perform. They don't need to. Their presence is quiet, unnerving even, because it exposes how unsure everyone else is. Think of Machiavelli's prince, a man who moves strategically, not emotionally. He's not obsessed with being liked or seen. His power comes from control. First over himself, then over others. But here's what most people miss. Real confidence isn't arrogance or self-assurance. It's emotional neutrality. It's the ability to walk into chaos and not flinch, to be insulted and not react, to fail and not fall apart. Most people's confidence is borrowed from circumstance, from validation, success, or appearance. Take those away, and what's left? This is where true confidence begins. Not in what you project outward, but in what can't be taken from you. It's built in silence, through self-mastery. And Machiavelli would say, "The man who cannot master himself will forever be ruled by those who can." From childhood, we're trained to seek approval, gold stars, praise, likes, applause. That conditioning doesn't disappear when we grow up. It just changes shape. We call it confidence, but what we really crave is permission to feel worthy. Truly confident people don't need that. They don't measure themselves by how others see them. In fact, they often seem detached. Not because they don't care, but because they've stopped performing for acceptance. Nietzsche once said, "The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe." Confidence, in that sense, is rebellion against the need to be understood, approved, or celebrated. If you ever notice how calm someone becomes when they stop chasing validation, it's unsettling. They don't explain themselves. They don't rush to prove their worth. They simply exist, and that self-containment feels powerful because it's rare. You might even mistake it for arrogance, but it's not. It's liberation, the moment someone stops being controlled by the opinions of others. Niccolò Machiavelli was often misunderstood. He wasn't teaching people to be cruel, he was teaching people to be effective. He believed that emotion, while human, was the greatest liability in power. Confidence, through a Machiavellian lens, is not just a feeling, it's a strategy. Most people enter situations asking, "Do they like me?" The confident person asks, "What do I want from this?" That shift changes everything. It removes the self from the center of fear and puts purpose in its place. Machiavelli understood that confidence is born when you stop reacting, when you can observe without being swept away. It's psychological distance, the ability to act on reason, not impulse. In modern terms, this is emotional intelligence weaponized. The confident mind doesn't repress emotion, it understands it, harnesses it, and directs it toward an outcome. That's why you can't manipulate someone who's truly confident. They're already aware of your game, and they don't need your approval to play theirs. Have you ever noticed how silence can be more intimidating than words? That's detachment. And it's the secret weapon of confidence. In psychological terms, detachment isn't coldness, it's control. It's choosing when to engage and when to withdraw. Think of the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius ruled one of the greatest empires in history, yet his personal diary was filled with reminders to stay calm, to not be swayed by praise or insult. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's confidence, the kind that doesn't depend on the room applauding. Truly confident people are not desperate to win every argument or dominate every conversation. They can lose and remain composed, because their sense of worth isn't tethered to outcomes but to principle. It's the kind of quiet strength that makes others lean in, because in a world of noise, silence becomes magnetic. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Confidence isn't free. It costs isolation. When you stop seeking validation, you stop belonging to groups that depend on mutual insecurity. People may call you arrogant, cold, or difficult, but what they're really saying is, you no longer need their approval. Confidence at its core means emotional independence, and that often feels like loneliness before it feels like freedom. You begin to realize how many relationships were built on shared weakness, not strength. Bonhoeffer once wrote about cheap grace, the illusion of freedom without responsibility. Most people want cheap confidence. They want to feel powerful without enduring the solitude that real confidence requires. But confidence is earned in private moments, in failure, restraint, and silence. It's the ability to sit with uncertainty without running back to comfort. That's why few achieve it. Because the process of becoming confident often feels like losing everything that used to make you feel safe. Arrogance is insecurity wearing armor. Confidence is security wearing nothing at all. The arrogant person shouts to be heard. The confident person speaks softly because they already know. Arrogance is built on comparison. I'm better than you. Confidence is built on clarity. I'm not competing. The difference is internal peace. When you've made peace with who you are, you don't need to prove it. Philosophers like Plato believed confidence comes from alignment, when your desires, actions, and values no longer fight each other. That inner coherence creates stillness, and stillness is power. Confidence doesn't need to be seen to exist. In fact, the strongest kind is invisible. You just feel it when they walk in. It's not in their words, it's in their energy. The subtle calm of someone who has nothing to hide and nothing to chase. Modern psychology defines confidence as a belief in one's ability to influence outcomes. But the deeper version, the Machiavellian version, is the ability to remain composed when you can't, when things go wrong, when people betray you, when the world doubts you. That's when most people lose control, revealing their dependency on external validation. But the truly confident, they remain stable. Because they've accepted something profound, they don't control outcomes, only their response to them. That's where self-control becomes a spiritual act. Every time you choose discipline over impulse, you're telling your mind, I'm in charge here. This is what separates confidence from delusion. The delusional believe they can control the world. The confident know they can control themselves, and that's enough. Machiavelli believed that power belongs to those who can see reality without flinching. That's the essence of true confidence, the courage to face yourself, unfiltered. Confidence is not built by affirmations or ego, but by confrontation, confronting your fears, your flaws, your dependency on others to feel enough. It's not about becoming unshakable. It's about accepting that even when you are shaken, you won't run. The most powerful trait of truly confident people isn't charm, control, or intellect. It's emotional sovereignty, the ability to stay centered no matter who doubts you, rejects you, or misunderstands you. That kind of confidence can't be taught. It must be lived, painfully, through loss, rejection, and silence. So ask yourself, if everything that gives you confidence disappeared tomorrow, would you still know who you are? Because that's where confidence begins. Not in how loudly you stand, but in how quietly you don't fall. Confidence isn't a performance. It's power built in silence, through discipline, restraint, and control. If you're ready to build that kind of strength, the kind that can't be shaken, then subscribe. Here we study the psychology of power, influence, and human behavior, not to manipulate, but to master ourselves.